Hey there guys, this is Craig with Squappy's Videos, and today, as you see before us, we have the Mavic 2 Pro here. Apparently there has been an update that has been pushed out for firmware, so today what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to update the Mavic 2 Pro's firmware. So go ahead and stay tuned, we'll get that going. Alright, so what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to update the Mavic 2 Pro's firmware here. So what I've got to go ahead and do, I've got to start by putting in the battery, of course. You know, can't power on a drone without it. So we're going to go ahead and get that connected here. And I'm going to go ahead and also turn on my controller. So I have not turned on the drone, of course. So press and then press and hold to go ahead and get the drone turned on. Go ahead and just leave this together and just let it turn on. All right. So there we go. It is all connected and everything here, but of course, with just the controller and just the drone, it's not going to tell me that there's a firmware update. Normally, what I would go ahead and do is actually just plug up my phone up to the controller. And I'm going to try it, but I'm going to go ahead and record my screen first. So let's hope that my phone continues recording and it lets this go through. One second, guys. Go ahead and just, right here I got my phone. I'm going to go ahead and just plug it up. No need to undo everything. So as you see on the phone, just say DJI Go 4. Just trying to connect. So this will rotate this around. Hopefully it doesn't actually do any issues. Give any issues here. Alright, so it was trying to let me enter. I think I accidentally nudged the the cord. Alright, so it does say that aircraft firmware has been updated. The remote controller firmware has been updated. Oh no, it was saying the controller needs to update. So we're going to go ahead and hit start updating. So now we're going to go ahead and actually just do the update. It's a pretty easy process overall here. You don't even need to really get it all set up. It's really just a matter of plugging it up and then letting everything go ahead and download and connect. It does take a little bit of time. It does suggest to go ahead and keep the battery at least 40%. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say above 50 is probably going to be safe. Sometimes these updates can take a little while. You do want to make sure you do this before you fly, or else you may run into some issues. There's the drone. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you know, it's little fans that do spin up. Started spinning up here. But yeah, you do want to go ahead and do this before you go take it out and fly, because if you do this while you're out, you can drain the battery this way. It does use quite a bit of battery power overall, at least from what I've seen, doing not only the firmware updates, but even like the Fly Safe database and everything like that. So of course, kind of as a pre-leave check before you go to leave to go do a flight, you want to go ahead and make sure you do update everything. Make sure you have it checked for the updates and everything like that. Sadly, right now the controller keeps telling me I have magnetic interference, but that's because everything is right here on my desk near my computer. I've got a ton of electromagnetic interference here, so it does not surprise me. Alright, it is still updating. It looks like the download is at 99% now. Alright, download's complete, so now it's going to go ahead and send it to the drone, or sorry, to the controller. Apparently this update is supposed to go ahead and allow for a much further distance overall. You know, while we're waiting, let's pull up the changelog here. Alright, so I do see the update. Looks like July 7th is whenever this update actually came out. It's for the aircraft firmware, but then the controller firmware also needed to be updated. This actually does go ahead and give some issues with the unbalanced gimbal, auto calibration for the gimbal. This actually does go ahead and give some increased operating time of the remote controller. This is actually when used in low temperature environments. Updated auto discharge default settings, so it actually discharges batteries now in 2 days, which that's what I had mine set to anyway. There is an occasional issue that is fixed that actually is the gimbal being unbalanced after a self-check. So to fix it, it does say to go ahead and use the auto calibration in the DJI Go 4 app. Excuse me. There's also some obstacle avoidance switch not being available whenever you're using MSDK, and to be honest, I don't even know what that is. I don't know what MSDK is, but here is the biggest thing that a lot of people have actually been talking about, is that the remote control distance in the US has actually now been increased with this update. The maximum transmission distance is 10 kilometers. Now, most of you that do know the metric system, of course, are going to know what 10 kilometers is. And to be honest, that's really just in the US, so it's under FCC rule and everything like that. Which is much further than the 6 kilometers that it actually allows for now in Europe. We're looking at a 6.2 mile distance that the drone can now transmit to, which, to be perfectly honest, would have been amazing while I was in Florida. I had some issues with transmission from my dad's house trying to go ahead and reach an abandoned fruit factory. So, but yeah, it's definitely a big thing. But it looks like, you know, the European, basically all the other areas around the world, it only allows for up to 6 kilometers of distance, which, to be fair, is quite a significant amount. You're still looking at a little over 3.5 miles, 3.7 to be exact. So not too bad at all. Update's still going through. Controller does show upgrading. I don't know if you guys can see that on here. It's vibrating occasionally too. Battery, or the percentage for the progress, is now at about 78% from what I can see. This thing is pushing out a lot of heat, by the way. Yeah, like I said, you want to make sure you have more than 40%. Honestly, it's always suggested to have more than 40% battery life, just because, I mean, look at the drone. It's already halfway depleted, and it was probably at about 80% whenever I started. The controller's doing pretty good. It's sitting pretty at about, looks like 70% from what I see. And it's saying that the controller's actually now at 69%. It's saying the drone's at 73% though. I'm not sure how much I believe that. Of course, I can't really check right now since it is doing this firmware update here. Well, looks like the drone is restarting, which is interesting since I'm only updating the controller, but that's fine, I guess. Ah, it looks like MSDK is actually part of their developer kit, by the way, which is what actually... Yeah, it looks like it actually does help you with doing. Oh, it's their mobile SDK. That makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, so the firmware update issue, it's obstacle avoidance whenever you're using the mobile SDK. So that makes more sense. We're still chugging along here. We're at 92% already. It's like both the controller and the drone show at 67% on a battery charge right now. I mean, once again, I started these at about 85%. It's already gone down 20%. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I know I wouldn't want my drone to go down below like 15%. And it might get, like, if this started off at 40% where it suggests, it may have gotten down to like 15%. You know, with these lithium polymer batteries, that's not always the best thing to do. I know, this is not the most interesting video, but some people don't know what to do here, so I'm happy to go ahead and help you guys. If you are watching and liking this content, please definitely hit the thumbs up button. Also, my name once again is Craig with Squappy's Videos. If you're not subscribed, while you're waiting here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications too while you're at it. Do try making content dealing with drones, tech, reviews, what have you. I do try posting twice a week. For the most part, we're looking at Tuesdays and Fridays. Oh, we're at 97% and the drone is restarting again. Also, while you're here too, we do have a Instagram. There is a link in the About page and also in the channel art for my Instagram, as well as a Facebook page that I have as well. Those are both linked in the channel description. Click on those. Definitely follow me on Instagram and like my page. Hopefully trying to get that to gain some followers here. Get some of you guys on YouTube over to Facebook and over to Instagram as well. Oh, it's now uploading the firmware, which I thought it had already done. I guess it had actually done the aircraft first. Now it's onto the remote control. Now that I'm actually looking at it, it is on part 2, which would be the remote controller, and I see that that's actually highlighted. So that does make sense. So some things that DJI does mention to note is that the update may reset various main controller settings such as return to home altitude and maximum flight distance. Oh, there goes the controller restarting. Some of those do get set to default settings. It does say to go ahead and take note of your preferred settings. Honestly, mine aren't that far from the defaults. So if you do have some crazy settings, definitely you want to readjust them afterwards. And for anybody that does have any issues, if the update does not go through successfully when you're doing it from your phone, just plugged up to the controller, which I've had happen on my Phantom 4 Advance. You can always plug up to the DJI Assistant or DJI Assistant 2 app that is for your computer. So that does help you go ahead and just plug it directly in. Don't have to worry about it being plugged up to a phone. Some people don't always have access to a phone. But good news, the remote controller firmware update is successful. It is asking me to go ahead and restart both the control and aircraft. So we're going to go ahead, hit OK, and hit complete. So now I'm going to go ahead and restart the controller. And restart this drone. So I always seem to go ahead and turn on the controller first. It's always the first thing in my hand. whenever I'm taking everything out. All right. Now it's doing its version check after that. All right. And it is now saying it is up to date on the firmware. We're going to go ahead and hit go fly. I'm not going to fly right now. I just want to go ahead and get connected into here. So of course it is telling me that the compass is not calibrated currently, which was to be expected since I am sitting here in a room full of electronics. Alright guys, so that was actually the firmware update for the Mavic 2 Pro as well as the transmitter. I do hope that I was able to help you out with this today. Maybe you didn't know how to update the firmware on the Mavic 2 Pro from the phone. Maybe now you do. I don't know. I will have more videos with the Mavic 2 Pro coming in the very near future. So do stay tuned for those overall. If you liked what you saw today, hit the like button. That is the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Whichever way you want to do it. Of course, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell as well if you want to get notifications for any new videos that I will be posting. Once again, my name is Craig with Squappy's Videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye, everyone.